Islam. Let's get straight to it. From the book, The One World Tartarians, the greatest civilization ever to be erased from history. Nikola Tesla, you know what he said? He said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Peace and love to all the Moors, Muslims, Asiatics. Let me know where y'all tuning in. Where y'all tuning in from? You know the rack up in here. South side, Wild Hunnets. East side, crazy. Out west, up north. Let me know where y'all tuning in with it. East Coast, West Coast, down south, overseas. Let me know where y'all at. No hesitation, straight to it. Nikola Tesla, what he say? You want to know the secrets of the universe? He say, look at energy, frequency, and vibration. From what I see, that's what we got to focus in, along with everything else. We put too much of our energy into distractions. So many distractions because the U.S. corporation, they can't have us focused. They can't have us to be in a one mindset, thought consciousness of discipline. The golden rule. I'm going to treat you like I treat myself. The golden rule. You know what's ironic though? When people be out here yapping, when they be out here talking about, I ain't gonna do 50-50, right? You got these people that talk like that, right? Check this out. Shout out to my brother, the Black Willy Wonka. He say, it's funny how when people talk about they don't want to do 50-50, except when it's time for a divorce. That's when you want to do 50-50 though, right? You don't want to do 50-50. You don't want to do that when it's just me and you, when we build it. You don't want to do it then. You don't want that. But you want to do 50-50 when it's time for a divorce. Ooh, strong. Energy, frequency, and vibration. I'm going to show y'all something out of this book right here. We talking about something out of this book right here. Shout out to the BX. Look, out of this book right here. Keep your mind on this though. If you want to find the secrets out of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Share this beam out. Look, what it say from the book, Holistic Philosophy 101. Check it out. It say, economics is only a social extension of a natural energy system. It also has its three passive components. Because of the distribution of wealth and the lack of communication and consequent lack of data, this field has been the last energy field for which a knowledge of these three components has been developed. Watch this though. Shout out to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Islam. It say, since energy is the key to all activity on the face of the earth, it follows that in order to attain a monopoly of energy, raw materials, goods, and services, and to establish a world system of slave labor, it is necessary to have a first strike capability in the field of economics. Didn't the Prophet Noble Drew Ali say that problems are going to be fixed with our people through economics? Because he said he wanted, shout out to Houston, he said he wanted our people to be industrious. The solutions is all around us. All we got to do is get into the focused mindset. We got to get into the mindset like, fuck all these distractions. It's always going to be somebody gossiping. It's always going to be somebody having a fight, a beef. It's always going to be some of that shit. It's always going to be some form of distraction. What's the solution though? The solution is what they talking about as far as distractions. Why are we focused on it? We should be looking at solutions like the Declaration Rights of Indigenous People. Solutions. All in the mix. Constitution. Solutions. Articles of Confederation. Solutions. Eating healthy. Solutions. Look. Remember now, we talking about energy and how they want to keep our people, and they, not even just our people, they want to keep the world in a system of slave labor. This is why we got to start understanding economics. We got to start understanding wealth. Health is wealth. Look at this. Look at this right here. Talking about energy, right? We talking about energy, right? Hold up. Let me show y'all something. We talking about energy. Where is it at? It say, all things, material and spiritual, originate from one source and are related as if they were one unit. The past, present, and future are all contained in the life force. The universe emerged and developed from one source, and we evolved through the optimal process of unification and harmonization. Check it out. Energy, frequency, and vibration, right? Let's go. All sounds and vibrations emanate from that word. Your voice is a very powerful weapon. When you are in tune with the cosmic breath of heaven and earth, your voice produces true sounds. Unify body, mind, and speech, and real techniques emerge. Why are we bringing this up? We bringing this up to start bringing clarity to the use or misuse of energy, frequency, and vibration. Our words are everything. Everything that we think and speak is attached to the cosmic ethers. So, with that being said, it's time to get back in tune with the cosmic energy, frequency, and vibration. Got to get back in tune with that. And guess what? You've been cursing yourself, calling yourself black. You've been cursing yourself. I'm going to show you how. Because you might be like, what? How I been cursing myself? Watch this. You might be like, I ain't been cursing myself. Everybody told me I was a black person. So how I been cursing myself? We're going to take it right here. We're going to take it to the 7 chakras. All right? 7 chakras. Energy, frequency, and vibration. This is what we taking it to. See that? We talking about the 12 tribes. See that? When they talk about the 12 tribes, they really talking about the zodiac. So we going to take it here. Guess what you ain't going to find in the 7 chakras? You're not going to find the color black. It's not there. Nothing in you is the color black. Let's go. Root chakra. See that? Survival and security. This is the Mulad Hara. Primary color of the root chakra is red. Bing bong. Huh? Nah, you go right here. You talking about the sacral chakra. Energy, frequency, and vibration. Creativity and sexual expression. This is the Swadhisthana. Primary color, orange. You don't see black in there, do you? Nah. Hold up. We talking about chakras now. Everybody talking about energy and crystals and all that. But you still calling yourself black. Look. The solar plexus chakra. This is power and self-control. This is the Manipura. Look. Primary color is yellow. See that? Hold up. We ain't done yet. They said they wanted to go here. They wanted to go with this. Here you go. This is the heart chakra. Compassion and forgiveness. This is the Anahata. The heart chakra. Now you saying, what's the primary color for the heart chakra? It's green. See that? Secondary color is pink. Huh? This is why they be having you wear for breast cancer, all the different kind of cancers. They got pink. This is one of the reasons, because you're trying to energize your heart chakra. See that? Compassion and forgiveness. Anahata. Hold up. Then you go right here. Hold up. You go to the throat chakra. Energy, frequency, and vibration. Communication and self-expression. This is the Vishuddha. See that? Primary color is blue. See? Communication, self-expression. Don't forget what you have in your body. You have 7 chakras. Just like you have the seven circle. The circle 7. The square and the circle is in you. Look, the third is the eye chakra. The third eye. See that? Intuition and wisdom. See, this is the anja. See? The primary color is indigo. See that? Do you see anything in here about black? No, sir. It ain't in there. Nothing in you is the color black. This is the crown chakra. Huh? This is your higher self, your enlightenment. This is your sahasrana. That's your crown chakra. The color for that is violet. Purple. That's the top of your head. Now, let me throw this at you. Let me share this with you. A few years back, they had people out here under propaganda. You thought that you had to take a corona jab in your arm. Guess what corona means? The word corona, it means your crown. So they found the levels of propaganda is diabolical. When they was out here giving people, tricking people, finessing people to take the jabby jab, and they called it the corona, you know what I'm saying? They called it the corona, you fill it in, fill in the blank. That jab was not only to infect your body, but it infected your crown chakra. Your crown chakra was the real attack, to see how much the dark side can manipulate human beings to be under full control. They start a problem, they offer a solution, and then people got to make a decision. But if you keep people in fear, if you keep them afraid, they like, oh shit, I don't know what's in that needle. Give it to me anyway. They got you under control. See, energy, frequency, and vibration. How you can use it for the positive or the negative. The dark force, they use it for the negative all the time. They create problems. They offer solutions to destroy people. Order out of chaos. Novus order seclorum. This is what they're doing. Look. So, you talking about the chakras, right? You know how they talk about eat the rainbow? Huh? You know how Skittles had that commercial about taste the rainbow? They jacked that for more science. Because more science is the science of life. The universe. Alright, so when you say the crown chakra crystals, this is what you talking about. Look, amethyst, chevron, see, quartz, diamonds, moonstones, purple fluoride, quartz. You know what I'm saying? You see all these, right? Look. So it say what? Revelation chapter 5, verse 1. It say, then I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll with writing on both sides and sealed with 7 seals. How many chakras you got? How many chakras you got again? 7 chakras. How many senses do you have in your body? 7 chakras. Huh? See how the 7 always come back? What's the number of perfected man? Number 7. Circle 7. Watch this though. Look. Then you talking about eat the rainbow. Look, what it say? Red for the heart, yellow for the skin, orange for inflammation, white for immunity, green for cleansing, purple for antioxidants. Hold up. Eating in biological rhythm. Eating in biological rhythm. Eating from the rainbow. Do you see anything that I just showed y'all that has black in it? It's not there. Fam, it ain't there. Nothing in you is black. Even when they tell you that your melanin is black, your melanin ain't black. It's dark. It's a darkish color. It's not black. You said, can I show you the book again? For sure. The book is called Holistic Philosophy. You're going to want to get this in your life. ASAP. Look, you get it right here. Go to khalifamedia.com. You can go there and snatch it up. Definitely get this in your life, though. khalifamedia.com. Fire. Look. So when you saying eat the rainbow, this what you talking about. This what you talking about right here. Look. Red for the heart. Yellow for the skin. White for immunity. Green for cleansing. Purple for antioxidants. Orange for inflammation. So look how everything is as above, so below. Just like the pyramid. All these right here, they have a purpose. When you start studying energy, frequency, and vibration, you're becoming in tune with nature. The color black is not in the rainbow. Explain that. All y'all pro-black people out there, you keep promoting that BS narrative. Black ain't in the rainbow. You ever seen the rainbow? Black ain't in there. So what you talking about? That's against nature. Huh? But you call yourself that. See how you out of tune with nature? You out of tune with energy, frequency, and vibration. You're out of tune when you call yourself a black person. You're out of tune with nature. That's why nature is doing what it's doing to people who misidentify as so-called black people. You're getting mistreated. You're getting abused all around. All around. Let's go. So, we're talking about bringing balance. How do you balance it out? How do you start balancing this out? First thing you got to do is you got to go here. You got to go here. You got to go here, gang. Look. You got to go here. You got to recognize the traps. The traps is these right here. This is how they trap people. They all from love. They offer you that, but the love got hooks on it. It ain't real love though. It's fake love. The thirst for sexual expression, covetousness for money. So you lusting for that bread. That's how they trap your ass. You keep thirsting for that bag. See, it's a trap. Spiritual traps. See, the obsession, desire to gain something for nothing. Gambling. See, if you a gambler, all you do is gamble. You ain't really on nothing but gambling. You in a spiritual trap. See that? They got you in a booby trap, G. If you out here have vanity for women, egotism in man, you're in a spiritual trap. If you desire to be the master of others, you in a trap. See, this is how they get people. They get people, they offer these things for people who got weak hearts. You got weak minds. So, and they know you're going to go. They know you're going to go. They know you're going to go for one of these. Look, the desire for intoxicants or narcotics. You like to smoke. You like to drink. You like to go crazy, right? You like to party. They got something for you too. That's a spiritual trap. See that? You desire for self-expression through words and deeds. They got you in a trap. You ain't got no actions behind your words. Trap. Look, a desire to imitate others. You want to be somebody else. They got you in the spiritual trap. See that? Or better yet, do you got yourself in the spiritual trap? A desire for perpetuation of life after death. They got you in the trap. They got you in the trap. Look, when you talk about another trap, you talking about how to balance this out. A desire to be a hero or a heroine. That's a trap. You shouldn't try to be no hero. Just be yourself. You ain't got to worry about trying to be no superhero. Be yourself. A desire for physical food, not spiritual food, not mental food, not that real ether food, just physical. They got you in a trap. See that? The 6 fears of man: poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, and old age. This is the fear. See that? And this is how they keep people energy, frequency, and vibration controlled. They keep you under control. Here go the 9 gates of hell. You ready for this? The 9 gates of hell: fear, superstition, avarice, greed, lust, revenge, anger, vanity, and laziness. If you suffer from one of these, you can be manipulated and controlled by one of these. See that? But on the flip side of the 7, though, you got 7 principles of freedom. That's your heaven on earth. Definiteness of purpose. See that? Your purpose, you know what you want to do. You're living your purpose out. That's heaven. Mastery over self. That's heaven. Learning from adversity. That's heaven. Controlling environmental influence, associations. That's heaven on earth. Time. Giving permanency to positive rather than negative thought habits and developing wisdom. That's heaven. Harmony. Acting with definiteness of purpose to become the dominating influence in your own mental, spiritual, and physical environment. That's heaven on earth. Caution. Thinking through your plans before you act. That's heaven on earth. Damn. You say, where you get this packet from? Go to khalifamedia.com. Go here. khalifamedia.com. We don't do no gatekeeping over here. Nah. khalifamedia.com. Go there, get that. So look, check it out. I'm on the E-way. I'm coming off over there by 130th. If you in the rack, you know what I'm talking about. So before I get to the off ramp, I'm looking and I see to my right side, I see a giant mound. If you in Chicago, right? Check it out. You in the rack. You go down to 130th. If you going west, look to your right. If you going east, look to your left. Fam, on the 130th, before you get off the ramp, look over there on the right hand side. It used to be a giant torch that used to burn all night over there. If you from the rack, you know what I'm talking about. 130th, right? It ain't no torch over there no more. But what is over there that I still see, I used to be thinking about it like, why is this thing right here? Until I looked at the movie Karate Kid the other day on my mama. I'm looking at the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith, right? Now the whole time I'm watching the movie and I see the pyramids over there in China. They got pyramids in China, fam. Above the water and under the water. It's documented. Shit is mind blowing, right? Pyramids all around the world. As a matter of fact, when I'm over there, I'm finna get off the E-way. I look to my right, fam. It's a giant mound over there that look like a pyramid, right off 130th. You from the rack, you know what I'm talking about. Just look to your right. It's right there, fam. Crazy. Look. And they be talking about pyramids and whatnot. Look at this. They be talking about pyramids and how the pyramids is here in Chicago and everywhere else, right? They not lying though. Look. We talking about energy, frequency, and vibration. Let me show y'all this. Hold up. Let me show y'all this. You need to see this. You need to see this, Morris. You need to see this. I'm finna show it to you. Remember, if you want to find out the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla said that, right? Now, let me show you this. This gonna blow your mind. Hold up, let me show you this. Where's you at? Hold up. Where's you at? Okay. We talking about if you in Chicago, you driving on the E-way by 130th before you get off the ramp. Look to your right. You're going to see a structure that looks just like this over there off 130th in Chicago. Look to your right, fam. It's there. It looks just like this, except it's covered with grass. Look just like this. Now you telling me that you got pyramids, you got more pyramids in North America, Central America, South America, and all of the adjoining islands. You got more pyramids over in the Americas than you do anywhere else in the world. That should be your indication that the Americas was first. That's your indication right there. One world Tartarians. Hold up. They tried to erase this kind of history. See? Nah, let me show you this. You're going to want to share this beam out. For real. This shit finna blow your mind. Look at all these pyramids over here in the Gulf of Mexico. Look. That's why it's so crazy. Like when our people be trying to clash and talk about Mexicans and people from Guatemala and Honduras and El Salvador, Fam, we the same people. Look, they're Moorish Americans. Look at all the pyramids down there in Mexico. See this? All these pyramids are down here in Mexico. You said they got mound pyramids over there in Oak Brook, Illinois? I'm about to check that out. See that? Guatemala, Belize. Look at that. All these are pyramids, fam. All these are pyramids over here. El Salvador, Honduras. Pyramid structures. Why am I showing y'all this? Because look, there are more than 1,000 pyramids in Central America alone. There are over 300 pyramids in China and 200 pyramids in Sudan. The original pyramids of Egypt and other places may have played an even more important role in electromagnetic energy production, and for this, they were the first to be neutralized. See that? They wanted to erase that Moorish Tartarian history. You say it's a lot of pyramids in Mississippi? For sure. Yeah, shout out to Mississippi. Yeah, the Mississippi mound builders. Facts. Look. So when you say energy, frequency, and vibration, look at this. Energy, frequency, and vibration. Grand Canyon. You got an Isis temple out there. Energy, frequency, and vibration. Hold up. This is the city of London. This is the Washington Monument. This is the Vatican. Do you see something similar? You see the same Moorish Tartarian architecture here, here, and here. Grand Canyon. That's a temple there. Hold up, because you need to see it. See what it is you need to see it. See, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know what I'm saying? See, this is what they not gonna show y'all. They not gonna show y'all no receipts. They just gonna talk to y'all. It say, for him who has conquered, this is man and woman. This is universal law. For him or her who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his or her mind will remain the greatest enemy. This from the Bhagavad Gita, 6:6. Ether. This is the adept chamber type knowledge. You know what I'm saying? True teaching is not an accumulation of knowledge. It is an awakening of consciousness that goes through successive stages. This is ancient Egyptian proverbs. You keep thinking that Egypt was over there in Africa somewhere. Egypt is in the Americas, fam. First, it's in the Americas. Egypt, Israel, all that's in the Americas. What does it say? It say, no problem can be solved by the same level of consciousness that created it. See that? Once you start activating this, your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, you lit. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Do not conform to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You got to renew your mind. So when they talk about in the Bible and all that, when they talk about being born again, they not talking about, well, you went to the church and you saw the pastor and they prayed on you and then they threw holy water and they baptized you in the water. All those are rituals. They don't have nothing to do with the real scripture, the meaning behind that. We talking about esoteric knowledge right now. The real meaning behind them, when they say you're saved, you're born again, they're talking about your mind is born again. Your consciousness is born again. That's what they talking about. Your consciousness is born again. That's what's born again. You can't go back in your OG, your mama, and be born again. So what do you got to do? You got to renew your mind. You got to remember who you are, where you come from. Look, let's go right here. Let's go right here. This is why it's so much spiritual attacks. See that? Spiritual attack is a series of events coordinated by the demonic realm, also known as the lower nature. Negative thoughts can come from self, or negative thoughts can come from others. These events set into motion generated from others through something as simple as bad mouthing or thinking badly about oneself. See that? They want to have you thinking the they is the dark side, the dark force. They want to have you thinking on some, I ain't good enough. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I ain't ready yet. See? Them the thoughts. They ain't necessarily got to come from you. They could come from other people. They doubts, they discomfort, they disbelief. They gonna try to push that on you. Whole time, you already knowing what you finna do. But when you got energy vampires around you, they'll try to put that doubt, that fear into you. That's what you gotta avoid. You gotta avoid people that's around you that's always scary. They always on some, they doubt what you own. Like, but they'll trust a celebrity though. They'll trust a celebrity. They'll put all their participation energy into celebrities. But they ain't gonna put no kind of love, appreciation into you. And you ground zero with them. Ain't it wild how people do? People they know when all these celebrity birthdays is. They know every club they hang out at. They know everywhere this person finna pop out. They support brands that they don't even know the maker of the brand. They just see them on social media. And they swear by that. But then somebody you might know that's starting up a clothing line, starting up a business, they ain't got no love for them like that. They got fake love. They whole time they be knowing that they on the grind. And they not gonna support them though. But they gonna support a stranger. The stranger don't even know this person exists. And they'll put more love and appreciation and gratitude into them. Ain't it wild how people be doing? See, when you start understanding how energy, frequency, and vibration really function, then you can fully activate that crown chakra, that third eye. Check it out. Then what you got right here? What does it say? What does it say? Look. Hold up. Let me show y'all real quick. It say every being has a basic frequency of vibration. That is, every being's molecules vibrate at a certain rate, and the wavelength generated by a being's brain can fall into special groups. No two beings have the same wavelength, not the same wavelength identical in every respect, but when two people are near the same wavelength, or when their wavelength follows certain octaves of the other, then they are said to be compatible and they usually get on very well together. If a man is to have what is known as inspiration, if he is to be a good artist, his frequency of vibrations must be many times higher than normal. Sometimes it makes him irritable, difficult to get on with. Being of a higher vibrational rate than most, they tend to look down on us lesser mortals. However, often the work that she turns out is so good that we can put up with their slight fads and fantasies. Okay? This is why a lot of people, this is why you are how you are. You. The ones that's tapped in, if you tapped in, this is why people treat you like that. This is why people look at you like that. Islam, because you tapped in. You see, you tapped in. Other people around you, it's like invisible barriers that's put up. They can see you, but they not really feeling what you talking about. They not really feeling and seeing what you really own. It's like invisible walls up, G. That's why you tapped in. That's why you special. That's why when you walk in the room, you don't be super cocky. You just know what you own. I'm coming in the room being myself. I'm coming in the room and everybody watching. Everybody seeing. Everybody already like, damn, what they on? You ain't trying to be super cocky. That's just the energy, frequency, and vibration that you exude out of yourself. Just by being yourself, though. You ain't trying to be nothing else but you. That's why people envious of you. That's why people want to low-key hate on you. And really high-key, they want to be envious of what you got. What you got popping. Know what I'm saying? But don't let that get to you though. Because it's only one you. It's like it's only one fingerprint that you got that nobody else on the planet got. Nobody else got your finger. Fam, do you realize nobody on this entire planet of 8 billion people got your fingerprint? That's why it don't matter if somebody else out here doing the same thing that you might be doing. They can't do it like you though. Islam. They can't do it like you. So it don't matter if 1 million people doing the same thing. Guess what? They can't freak it like you though. That's why if you got an idea and you on some positive shit, that's the shit you need to be pushing. Being yourself though. Islam. Look. Then you go right here. Where does it say? What does it say right here? See that? See that sign, that symbol? That's the pyramid right there. That's the square right there. So we talking about Moorish science. We talking about circling the square. See? The hex alpha. As above, so below. These points right here symbolize the principles of the universe. See what's going on? 3, 3, 3. See where they going? You see? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. This is what we talking about. Look. We talking about dimensional awareness. This is what we talking about. Check it out. Hold up. Let me show you this. Let me show you this real fast. Where is it at? I just had it. I just had it too. Well, I gotta show you this. You gotta see this. We talking about energy, frequency, and vibration. How much time we got? We got some time? Okay, we got some time. Hold up. We got some time. I'm trying to find this so I can show y'all though. Hold up. Let me find this so I can show y'all though. You need to see this. We doing this in real time. Hold up. Let me show you this. You gotta see this. You gotta see this. Where is it at, fam? Bing bong. Right here. Ptah as an electron model. Remember, energy, frequency, and vibration. From the book Holistic Philosophy 101. You're going to want to tune into this. Share this beam out, right? Nikola Tesla. What he say? If you want to find out the secrets of the universe, study energy, frequency, and vibration. Look. Ptah as an ancient African electron model, right? Now, as much as these people out here that identify as Hebrew Israelites, this is what they're missing. They're missing this right here. El is the origin of the name of God in Judeo-Christian, Islamic, and various Mesopotamian religions. See that? See, we ain't got time to waste time. I ain't got time to waste no time at all. So if you look at El as the origin of the name of God, Hebrew is El. Elo, Hebrew is God. Elohim, Hebrew, God. Allah, Islam, God. Arabic, Elu, God. This is Akkadian. And guess what? Hebrew is not a people. It's a language. It's not a people. It's a language. And you see, El is the origin of the name of God. So, to clear the confusion up, if you out there identifying as a Hebrew Israelite, Hebrew is a Semitic language. It's a Semitic tongue. It's not a people. It's a dialect. Hebrew is not a people. It's a dialect or a Semitic language, a Semitic tongue. We talking about language from the past, ancient times to current times. Bing bong. It's not a people. Israelites are a tribe of Moors. That's who the Israelites are. Israelites are not a nationality. When you say that you're an Israelite, you're saying that you're part of a tribe, a Moorish tribe. But this is where you messing up at though. You're not linking yourself up with the bloodline, the nationality, the nation. the nationality links you back to law. It links you back to law. So when you say, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, all you saying is that's a language tribe. But you're not notifying anybody else in the world what's your nationality. You say that you are Hebrew Israelite, but then you call yourself a black woman or a black man. You see how you got an identity crisis? You say that you're a Hebrew Israelite, but then you say that you're a black person. That don't even make sense. You see how it don't make no sense? See? It just don't make no sense. So you got to start making sense for somebody to take you serious. You got to start making sense. This is why you say you're a Moorish American. Because when you say Moorish American, you link up the ancient world and the modern world in those two words. I'm Moorish American. That's why nationality is the order of the day. That's why they got all these citizenship topics popping up everywhere. And you know they really paint themselves, the European hybrids, they really paint themselves in the corner right now. Because when you bring up citizenship and birthrights, the only people on this land that got birthrights and citizenship status are Moorish American nationals. Bing bong. We the only ones that got Moorish American national status. Not the Caucasians. They got to go bye-bye. Unless they agree to be subjects on our land. That part. Because they don't have birthright citizenship. They are not jus sanguis to this land. Black's Law 4th edition law dictionary. Get that. Henry Campbell, Black's Law 4th edition dictionary. Look up the term jus sanguine or jus sanguinis. They ain't got that. These so-called Native Americans, they going crazy right now because they got to pack up and go back to Europe over there. They ain't American. So that everybody out here talking about the Native Americans and the American Indians, they packing up and they got to go bye-bye because they ain't indigenous to this land. That's what you talking about. See, when you start studying energy, frequency, and vibration, you talking about LAW. You talking about law. See? You talking about law right now. That's what they don't want us talking about. They don't want us out here talking about law. So the Native Americans and everybody else who agreeing to be a brand name, you're going to have to make a decision. You got to go bye-bye. Pack it up. Go ahead and pack it up, man. Go ahead and pack up. Pack that shit up. Because you're not a part of the Constitution. Native Americans, Pan-Africans, if you say that you want to be a black person, you got to pack it up. Because you're not a part of the Constitution. Only Moorish American nationals are a part of that Constitution. Because we created it. The U.S. citizens are anybody who agrees to be under a 14th Amendment chattel property person. We as Moorish American nationals can never be U.S. citizens. Look up the original 13th Amendment, Section 12. Just Google it. It'll tell you in black and white, Moorish Americans can never be U.S. citizens. You can never be a U.S. citizen. And you should never want to be a U.S. citizen because they list you as a person. A person does not have indigenous rights. A person has privileges, i.e., a license, a permit. You got to follow codes, statutes, regulations. So when they talk about, we just dropped the new code, Section 158 on no touch phone policy. That's a code. That ain't got nothing to do with us. We travelers. We not on this land as commerce drivers. They doing all these fear tactics to try to coerce the nationals of the land, the Moorish people, to stay afraid and under a corporate status of black. Black is a dead status that makes you non-descendable to your birthright. This is why, which brings me to the point, why they cannot deport us. Fam, if you ain't been listening to nothing, listen to this right here. This is why the U.S. corporation don't give us a ticket to go back to Africa, because you never came from Africa. You always been in the Americas. They can't send you backpacking to Africa. You cannot be deported. This is why they ain't never gave us a ticket to go back to Africa, because it's all cap. It's all a lie. It's not more. They can never send us packing to go nowhere, to Africa or nowhere else. They can't never send us packing. This is why you study law and history, energy, frequency, and vibration. They can't send us to go nowhere. If they could, they would have did it already. You don't think so? They would have did it already. If they could send us packing to go back to Africa, you don't think they would have made plans to do that shit already? They can't do it, because you will have a violation of treaty law, of international law. If you send us packing, who are an Aboriginal, Indigenous, Moorish American, if you ship us off to go over there and say you ship us off to Europe or you ship us off to Africa, right? That means now you got war crimes. You can't send somebody who's from one landmass to another landmass. That's an international incident. That's a war crime. So what they do, the U.S. corporation, they just keep locking us up unconstitutionally. This is what they do. This is why they incarcerate our people so much, because they can't ship us off nowhere. You understand? Because we have an Aboriginal, Indigenous, allodial birthright to these lands, to the Americas. This is why they don't talk about nationality. Ding, 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 ding. They don't talk about nationality amongst our people. This shit ain't taught in school. Think about if this was taught in school when you was 2 years old till you graduated high school. Do you know what kind of firepower you would have coming out your mouth? What? You know what kind of force you could generate if you get 10 people, 10, 20 people in the classroom, all of them got one consciousness of, this is my land. I study law. I don't just say I know law. I can tell you law and burn you with it. You see? One thought, collective consciousness. This is why nationality, law, and history ain't really taught to our people in school. You see? Especially about the term jus sanguinis. Why would they get taught to the Aboriginal indigenous people that's from America? And these foreign European pale-skinned people, they not from here. It doesn't matter if they was born here or not. This is what we need to clear up. It doesn't matter. It don't matter if you was born here. That's called jus soli. That's if you born here in the Americas. That has no claim though, as far as birthright. Because you not from here, you're not indigenous here. You just was born here. Your family migrated here. Our family didn't migrate here. We always been here. We've always been here. You understand? So we can't be deported up out of here. But what they do is they unconstitutionally trick us and convince us, case in point, to go to jail. Case in point, right? Look, police, slave patrol, they unconstitutionally lock our people up, incarcerate us. Because, question, according to the amendments, you have the right to a grand jury indictment. So if the grand jury didn't indict you, how are you getting incarcerated? You have the right to a speedy trial. So by them falsely arresting you, they take you and they put you in jail for 2 to 3 days. Right? You go before the person that's sitting up there, that's a magistrate. They got an all black robe on. You see how the police violated your rights? They violated your 4th, 5th, 6th Amendment. Violations. You see? This is why you gotta learn law and history, how they go together. Firepower. Right? You, when you upon arrest, You supposed to have the right to a speedy trial. Did they send you? Did they arrest you? First of all, did they have a verified complaint to arrest you? Where your witnesses at? You see, this is why we got to start studying law. If you don't have no witnesses, or you don't have no RAS, reasonable articulable suspicion that I committed a crime, you can't touch me. But what the police do is they trick and finesse us out of our position, get us talking, and then we self-incriminate. Then they kidnap us, put us in a box for energy collection. Pay attention. They put us in these boxes for energy collection. Remember, it's all about energy, frequency, and vibration. So the dark side, they trick us to get in these containers to drain our battery. That's our ether. So they charge us. This is why they charge us for unconstitutional crimes that they say we committed. They put you in lockup. So they locking up a battery and they extracting the energy from that battery. That's why they talking about they gonna give you a bond. A bond. How much is? Watch how the church and the state is the same shit. When they lock us up, right? They say you could bond out for what? What percent? For 10%. How much do the church ask for when they doing donations? When the church and they're asking for put some money in the collection plate, how much bread they ask for? They ask for 10%. This is why the church and the state work together. It's all unum sanctum operations. Islam. So the church asks for 10% for tithing, and the state asks for 10% when you got to bond out. See what I'm talking about? This how, when you studying law and history, this how all this makes sense. But if you're not looking at law and history, it's just gonna be some interesting shit for you to listen to. Nah, this shit real. This shit got real firepower. Boom. Whole time, now look. When you go before that magistrate with that black robe on, because I'm finna move around. That magistrate with that black robe on, whether it's a man or a woman, they're a Freemason. So what they gotta do is they gotta trick you out your position. They gotta get you to say, for prosecution and adjudication, they gotta get you to say, how do you plead? When you answer, see, that's how they set you up. Now, when they say, how do you plead, right? This is the setup. You got the prosecutor over there. You got you right here, right? So when the magistrate asks you, how do you plead? Only way they can play the game is if you give a plea off. If you don't say a plea, you be like, I'm not guilty. You say no contest, or you say you make a plea. Once you make a plea in the court system, you've agreed to a contract unknowingly. This is how the game works. Once that magistrate gets you to accept a plea of not guilty or no contest or guilty, remember, they got the job of burden of proof. They got to prove that you guilty. But again, if you violate your amendments, your 4th, 5th, 6th Amendment, you violate your own rights. It's not their job to tell you that you violated your own rights. It's their job to prove that you guilty. It ain't your job. That's like if the police ask you, hey, can you help me out with this investigation? And what you do, you start opening your mouth up. You start talking. So you indicted yourself. See? So remember, when that magistrate wearing that black robe up there, when they be like, how do you plead? You should never make a plea, because it's the court's job to prove that you're guilty. They have to have a verified complaint document signed by an eyewitness. The state can't incriminate you because the state is a corporation. This free game right here. The state is a corporation. They're not an actual living being. A corporation cannot indict you. A corporation cannot charge you. It has to be a living eyewitness who saw you commit a crime. And remember, in order for there to be a crime, there gotta be an injured party. They gotta prove that you had intent to destroy somebody's property or to commit a crime. Without that intent, without an eyewitness, they pop. They cooked. But if you give consent and say, not guilty, they're going to say, oh, you wanted to play the game. Hook 'em. You fell for the hook and sinker like a fish to bait. They got you. They got you, fam. They got you. Look, out of the book right here. Tulsa and the Cabbage Patch Kids. This all they want to do. Prisons. Where is that? Where is that? It say, these parasites harness energy. See that? I'm not talking about the buildings themselves, which share the same esoteric features as other Tartarian structures, but the people held inside. If we are all energy, then this is surely possible, isn't it? Huh? Yeah, it's possible. That's exactly what they're doing. They're harvesting energy from people in the jails. When an inmate gets sent to jail, just look at the statistics, look at the numbers. When a person get locked up, they get charged. Depending on how long they got to sit up in there, the state is getting money off each one of them inmates. Each one of them beds up in there, each one of the prisoners in the prison, the inmates, the state make money off that. This is why they build more prisons and jails than they build schools. They're harvesting energy. Remember, everything in the universe is about energy, frequency, and vibration, and the intent to use it. That's how the universe works. That's universal law. So what you gonna do with this information? You gonna research it? You gonna look it up? Huh? You gonna look up some stuff? Or you gonna sit on it and be like, man, that was some interesting shit, but that ain't really gonna change nothing. They want you to think like that. They want you to have that fear in your head where you don't take action. You don't take no action. That's how they want people to stay distracted. They want people stuck in entertainment. Are you not entertained? That's how they want people to be entertained. All these celebrities, damn near all of them, they're controlled puppets. They controlled. Their social media is monitored and controlled. It's few so-called celebrities that got total ownership of their music, their talent, or anything they got going on, because they got contracts of perpetuity. Perpetuity. Soon as they sign that contract, it's a lifetime deal. Lifetime? I'm talking about they babies. Forever. You under contract. Perpetuity contracts. Look that up. Dave Chappelle spoke on that. Why you think he left and came back on some, I'm owning everything. Everything is me now. Perpetuity contracts. Remember, if you go before that magistrate and they ask you how do you plead, you never make a plea. It's their job to prove you innocent. You never make a plea because you're a Moorish American national. You don't have to make a plea. You don't have to make a plea. They got to prove that you're guilty. And where's your verified criminal complaint? Where's your eyewitness? You ain't got that. They can't adjudicate. But they can trick you if you say not guilty, no contest. You agree to consent to play the game. Never make a plea. Never make a plea. Hey, check it out, man. I'm finna move around. I hope y'all got something from this beam out. Much love. Appreciate you too. Much love to all y'all critical thinkers out there. All y'all out there that take care of business. You raise your children right. All that good stuff. Treat people like you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head on a swivel. All right? Keep your head on a swivel. Get these books. Start making it make sense. All right? If you in Chicago, you drive down 130th Street, you gonna see over there, it's a pyramid over there. All right? 130. If you in Chicago, 130 if it's right over there. Shout out to the honeys. Shout out to the gardens. All right? Yes, sir. You got questions? DM me. Peace.